Hello, it's Gail here for My Repurposed Life, and you are witnessing my very first Facebook Live. And I do not know what I'm doing. Hopefully the connection will be good. I'm at Maker 13 in Jeffersonville, Indiana. It's a makerspace where you can become a member, take classes, and do stuff. So I'm going to be hosting an event in August, and we'll talk about that near the end. So I'm going to switch it around, and I'm going to take you on a little tour. We're currently in the wood and metal shop, and Lucas will be our tour for the metal stuff, since I don't know metal tools. And there is Lucas, and Lucas is going to tell us about the what?
Yes, my name is Lucas. I work at Maker 13. I'm an engineering student. I'm going to show you some of these metal tools. Here we have a 3.5 axis CNC prototyping machine. So it's a metal mill that removes material, but it's also computer controlled, and it's essentially a robot that then can remove different types of materials, including plastic and non-ferrous metals. So plastic, wood, aluminum, and even brass. So actually, when we first opened in November of 2016, we partnered with a candy shop, Shim's Confectionery, that's down in Jeffersonville.
They have yummy, yummy candy. Make sure you check it out.
So they've been in business for 125 years or so. And they came to us, and we partnered with them. And the company that makes their brass rolling machines for producing candy doesn't exist anymore. And so we prototyped this out of plastic using this machine, and actually we ended up making something out of brass for them. Now they use it in their production.
And what candy? What is that? What is that shape on there?
It's just candy shape.
Oh, okay.
It's a prototype, so just a proof of concept. This is a vertical mill. So a metal machinist, someone who works with making all sorts of metal parts, would use a vertical mill, and you can also take classes on how to use this equipment. This is a bench lathe, also considered a metal mill, but it's probably something more people are familiar with. So like a gunsmith or a locksmith, someone who works with kind of smaller metal parts would use something like this. And a machinist with a vertical mill and a bench lathe, and then a surfacer would be able to make just about any metal part that they want to make. Over here is a horizontal bandsaw, and it's used for cutting big, thick stock metal. And then over there, this is called a metal notcher. So, example, you start with kind of like a square piece of metal. You score the edges, you're probably not going to be able to see it, or you score the surface so that you can tell where you want to cut it, and then you insert it into the notcher.
It's like a cricket punch, y'all, or like a sixes punch, only for metal.
And then you end up with that notch right in the middle.
And after you get the notch, you can make it into a little box.
Yep, make it into boxes. Now, talk about safety. At Maker 13, in order to use any of the pieces of equipment, you need to take a safety class. That's not only to keep you safe, but also so you don't break the equipment. And I guess I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Lucas. Okay, Gail's going to take you around about some of the saws, and I might not get them exactly right because I haven't used them all. This is, I called it a scroll saw, and Lucas called it a skill saw. And this is like a band saw. I don't have these tools at home, so I only can have access to these kind of tools over here at Maker 13. Become a member of your local makerspace, and you can do these kinds of things too. This is a drill press, and this is a monster drill press. If I had room in my shop, that is the one I would have. And then there's not just wood here. They have all kinds of classes and all kinds of things to do at Maker 13. The space, you can see they have out there, outside the wood shop, they have a laser machine that I just used, and they have some textile things, some sewing and soldering and vinyl and 3D printers. I think I've named about everything. We all know what this is. compound miter saw. I bet your setup does not look like that at your house. I know it doesn't at mine. Mine's tiny, and I do not have that nice tabletop. And this is help me out, Lucas. This is a sander, but is that a disc and a belt sander? Okay. I blogged about those, and I called them disc sander and belt sander, so I was right about that. And you can see behind us, see that little flexible tube and the PVC piping? Those are exhaust systems. So when you're using a particular tool, you open that little slide out thing and you turn on that big loud exhaust system over there, and it keeps the shop clean. Here's a bandsaw. I used the bandsaw and the sander when I took the class to make that cutting board. And I'm going to show you some cutting boards near the end. I skipped those. So that's the bandsaw. Oh, and this, there's the exhaust. That's the, what's it?
Dust collection.
Dust collection. See, I don't have one of those, so I don't know what it's called. I know what this is called. This is called a ShopBot or CNC router machine. It cuts. Look, there's a sign it cut for the word gather. And you just secure your material on there. It can take up to a 4x8 sheet. Oh my, the air conditioner just kicked on. So everything like this, like the CNC ShopBot and the router machine, you start out with a program. I think it's CorelDRAW is what we use. And so you do it on the computer, and then once you do it on the computer, you sort of have to pay attention to what's going on, but the router will do it all for you. And Lucas went and got us some great projects. What is this, Lucas?
So this is a piece of wood that started out, but we used the ShopBot to turn into a Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. It's like for chip dip.
Okay, that's why I don't know what it is, because I have not watched any Star Wars movies.
But you know, so you're taking a router and you're using a robot to control it. It does plunge cuts. So if you're familiar with routers, you can actually change different bits on the routers. And here's another example of the detail and the quality that you can use on the ShopBot. And then you probably see these all the time. And you probably pay a pretty good price for them, but here you can make them anything you want.
And I made my family sign. If you, I'll put a link in the comments, and you can check out the family sign I made on the ShopBot.
Yeah, so and then here's just another example. You can do step down router bits design where you take a 3D model of, say, Abraham Lincoln, and then you can use the ShopBot or even that CNC prototyping machine. You can use that as well.
And what materials can you use for the ShopBot? Only wood, or can you use other materials?
We prefer to use wood, but you can actually use plastic as long as you let us know. Because if you think about it, when you use a router bit on plastic, it could heat that plastic up, and it's kind of a different cleaning process, so that's something.
And could it cause some harmful fumes too if you use the wrong kind?
I would probably only use acrylic.
Okay.
But
so that's the same thing with the laser machine. We're supposed to just use acrylic.
Yeah, nothing with chlorine, like PVC plastic. You wouldn't use that because the chlorine gas could be released.
Right.
Just check with us, and you'll learn those things in the ShopBot class. Sure.
Okay, now I'm going to show you, here we are, the planer. I used the planer when I made my cutting board here. I took the cutting board class. It was very fun and very educational, and I made an awesome cutting board. And that's been on the blog too. And then this is a joiner. You all might have these, but I'm telling you, you don't have this set up. I don't have either of those. I don't have a planer or a joiner. I do have a table saw, but yeah, it doesn't look like this either. Mine is always piled up with stuff, and maybe yours is too. Okay, really quickly, I'm going to show you. Then they have regular, like the hand tools, and this is a grinder. Is that what that's?
Bench grinder. Yeah.
Bench grinder. And then they have this regular hand tools and sandpaper, but look, they don't have, there's a Gorilla Glue. Right there, Gorilla Glue. But they don't use Gorilla Wood Glue. I use Gorilla Wood Glue, if y'all know that. Okay, these are signs. Here at Maker 13, you can take a class or an event. So when you do a class, it's total hands-on, and you are taught how to use the machines. If you do an event, then the staff does some of the stuff for you, and then you finish it up. So this pile of stuff right there is for an event for a stencil sign that Angie does. I took that event, I did that event too, and I did an Amazing Grace sign, and I love how it turned out, and it's probably on the blog. And Lucas has, what do you have there, Lucas?
So one of your first introductory woodshop classes, or the safety class that you take, you end up making something that you can put a piece of cheese or bread on and then cut. So this is a cutting board. It starts out as pieces of wood, basically different pieces of wood. You cut them in a certain shape, say on the bandsaw, and then you glue them together and squeeze them together with some of those devices over there, and then essentially all it is you're sanding it, and then you put mineral oil, food grade, food safe mineral oil on it, and then you have, doesn't have the mineral oil on it yet, but this is just an example of through that process.
And that is not the kind I made. I made this kind right here with 2 pieces of wood. You all probably saw that on the blog, and it turned out beautiful, and I intend on doing something on the laser machine with it eventually. And this is an event that Angie has done, and I'm sure she's doing more, and it's a little caddy. And there's the finished product right there. Look how cute that is. Okay, so speaking of events, I'll finish up, but I'm going to tell you about the event. It's going to be August 26th. It's a Saturday. We're doing Saturday because we don't want to go over on a Friday night and take too long. So you might recognize this. I made one of these one-board step stools, I called it, and it's really popular on the blog. So Angie saw that and thought it would be a good thing for me to do, and then when she actually revisited it, she saw that it was my project that actually inspired her. So how cool is that? So that's the project that you will be putting together at the event on August 26th, and it's on a Saturday at 1 p.m. And you will not be sawing because you won't have had the safety class yet, but you will do some hands-on putting the stool together and possibly painting and or stenciling or otherwise embellishing your project when you get done. But first, before you do that, then you have to listen to me talk, okay? So I'm going to do a little event, and we'll have some snacks and make a step stool and hang out together. August 26th, 1 p.m., Maker 13, Jeffersonville, Indiana. So that's it. That's the tour for today. And I did not get any comments, so I think that I forgot to turn them on or something. If you have any comments, be sure and leave it, and I'll answer any questions you have. Check out Maker 13 in Jeffersonville or a makerspace near you. Thanks, guys. See you next time. Bye.